Action! Hello, welcome back to the Fluently Fletch Podcast. Girl, it's been a while. I haven't done a podcast episode in a couple months, potentially. And today I just wanted to film a little podcast and talk about where the fuck I've been. Because, girl, it's been a bit of a weird, crazy time since I last recorded and did a podcast episode. So let's get comfortable. I've actually got myself a glass of wine. And I'm in a new spot. I'm in the kitchen. I've just got home and my parents are in Salcombe right now. So I thought, let's change it up. Let's sit in the kitchen, babe. Let's have a new atmosphere. I quite like being in the kitchen, and especially when there's no one home. Something quite homely about it would make sense. But basically, I wanted to talk about where the fuck I've been for the past 2 months. I've got a new job. I've had fun sexual interactions with people. I've been on holiday. And before we do that, I want to first do my Fletcher's 5-minute faves, my favourite things in 5 minutes. To be honest, girl, I haven't planned this episode. I kind of just got home from where I've been, which I'll tell you about shortly, don't you worry. And I kind of felt like releasing some energy, some sort of verbiage on what's been going on in my life in the past month or two. Because it's been fucking wild, can't lie. I've literally got my dream job in the last month, in the last 3 weeks. I've changed what I was doing completely. So we'll get into that. But first of all, I haven't even planned this, to be honest with you. So I want to just have a little think. I already know what my 5 things are going to be. Number 5, making new friends, having new friendships. Recently I've developed a lovely new friendship with a girl, and she's really cool. And I met her through another friend, and my friend Lottie. I met her through my friend Lottie. She's called Lulu. Hey Lulu, love you, babe. And what I just love is, I don't know, I feel like we all have friends in our lives that you have forever, then you have friends that come and go. Recently, I haven't really had that many new friendships, and it's been nice to develop a friendship with someone that is completely out of the blue and not expected. And last weekend, we went out together. You know what, that's another story, we'll get into that. But yeah, number 5, new friendships, we love. Number 4, just saying yes to everything. With my new job, which I'll also get into in a minute, it takes a lot of yes and. Yes, 100%, I'm down to try that, let's try. You don't know until you try. So yes and. Number 3, I'm really enjoying salads at the moment with my new job, which once again, we'll get into. I have the option to have salads every day, and they're not just boring salads. It's like today I had, it was a quinoa, it's not interesting, but it was a lovely salad. But I love the option of a salad bar. A salad bar is hot. Number 2, watching Glastonbury highlights. Last night I hadn't really watched anything from Glastonbury, really, to be honest. I've been feeling a bit jealous, so I just didn't watch anything. But last night I decided to go on BBC Music's YouTube and just watch some of the performances. And yeah, I'm not there, so it's not exactly as fun. But Jade's performance of Angel of My Dreams, I really liked. There's a band called Something and the Sniffers, this Australian rock band. They were really fun to watch. Who else did I watch? Kneecap. I don't even know who Kneecap are, but I'm already really into them. I love, the only other Irish band that I necessarily listen to a lot is Fontaines DC, and I just love how the Irish accent sounds in song. I just think it's so beautiful and hot and cool. But Kneecap, they rap as well, and they rap in Gaelic. Is that the right term for Irish? Gaelic? Hey Lucky, this is my cat Lucky. Hey Diva, I have not seen her in 2 weeks. Anyway, yeah, so Glastonbury highlights. Now number 1 is what I really want to talk about. Watch out, darling, watch out. Number 1 is Virgin by Lord's new album. I've just been texting my friend Evie about this. Lucky, you're blocking the mic, my love. You have to move out the way, darling. I really am into Virgin. I think, Lucky, darling, over here. Come on, over here. No. Sorry, guys. I'm just being interrupted by my cat. I just really think Virgin's a great album. My favourites from Virgin are Squeaky Chair, Mother's Daughter, obviously What Was That, Hammer, and then I actually need to re-listen to it. Also, Addison Rae's album as well is up there, number 1. Anyway, they're my 5 things. I can't even remember them, to be honest, but fun to get into it. So, let's actually just begin by talking about, sorry, I thought my cat just destroyed the audio, but it's fine. Where I've been recently, so basically 3 weeks ago, I got a text randomly from a person that I'd never heard of, asking me if they could interview me for a job on a TV show as a runner. And I was like, what the fuck? How have they got my contact details? How do they get me? And I didn't really realise that basically I got on this thick program called Screen Skills, where it's a year-long scheme where they get people in, and I'm on this course, this area called assistant director. So it's basically you start as a runner, and then eventually, if you're a runner for a couple years, you might end up getting to be a crowd, PA. So that's the person who's in charge of the background extras, and then after that you might become a third AD, a third assistant director. So it goes third AD, second AD, first AD, director. AD means assistant director. I mean that makes sense, but I don't know if you know that, but that's what it is. Anyway, so I got on the scheme as a trainee AD, and basically just means you're a runner. And I applied to this. You get call outs from jobs basically, and I applied for this call out in May, and I didn't hear back from them, so I just thought I didn't get the job. And then turns out it was June the 12th, and Sam, the guy who hired me, texted me saying, we're interested in having you on the job. My colleague, the second AD, is gonna ring you. And she rang me, had a little phone interview, and that was that. And at the same time, I was also waiting on a job from Loose Women as a production runner. And then the day that I got rejected by Loose Women, so this was June the 12th, I got rejected by them, and I really wanted the job. It was a production runner on Loose Women, and I thought Loose Women would just be such my vibe, camp energy, women everywhere. Obviously it's Loose Women, and I'd be a little runner. But I didn't get the job. And then on that day, I got the text from Sam to offer me an interview for the job. And then the day after that interview, I got the job. So I can't actually say what the job is in terms of the production, because I've signed an NDA, because so you have television, then you have a type of television which is high-end television. So high-end television means that every episode that they make is over £1 million to produce, and then less than that isn't high-end TV. And then the scheme that I'm on, they only send you on placements for films or high-end television. So the production that I'm on is high-end TV. It's massive, actually, millions of pounds an episode, and it's filming at this studio, and they've booked out the whole studio for the shoot, and I'm on the job hopefully until November. So 6 months on a fucking job as, sorry to swear, let's not swear, as a production assistant. So my official role is set PA trainee, because I'm technically a trainee assistant director or whatever through that scheme. So they have to have me as a trainee set PA. But basically I'm just a runner on a huge production that is bigger than any job I've ever done in TV. I've been working in TV or whatever for a year now. Literally a year. I got my first job a year ago as a floor manager for a shopping channel. A really random job. It was a really small shopping channel, but I loved it. I did 6 months, and it was great. But then they went bust, and then last November, I just started looking for work in the industry as a daily. So a daily is basically on productions. If they're big productions, they'll have people come in just for the day to help them. So I did some stuff at Pinewood as a daily, and then in May I was like BAFTA runner, which I talked about in my last video. And then before I got this job that I just got, a week before that, I'd just been given 5 days as like a daily on a film in Greenwich, which is it's done now. So I was working as that. So I literally I went down to London for 5 days to work on this job as a runner. And then the last day of the shoot, we were filming in Greenwich at like the old Naval College. It was fucking amazing. And then literally that next week, I got the call for this job. And I'm on it now for 6 months, fingers crossed. Which is just like, honestly, I've not processed it. Like, it's crazy because I went from having a job in TV as like a floor manager for a small shopping channel, thinking that it was like the bee's knees, like the shit. I was like, this is so exciting. And it really was so exciting at the time. To then cut 6 months later, I've now got a job on a fucking huge production as a runner. And I'll get into it, but like, it's just mad to look back at the year I've had, like, and the like progression I've had in the year. Like, I feel so proud of myself. And the fact that I've got this job, it's just so exciting. But yeah, I can't say what the production is, but it's fully like, I'll try and paint a picture. Like, you walk onto, so where I film, it's a big studio and they have different stages. So a stage, it's not necessarily a stage. If you think of a stage, you think of like a theatre. A stage in this context is a big warehouse, and in the warehouse they build sets. So you have like a big stage, which is the warehouse, and then a set within the warehouse. Because these big productions, they can afford to literally build every location from scratch in the studio, and it actually saves them money instead of having to go out on location and shoot things in places that is difficult to shoot. Whereas on this production, they've booked out the whole studio so they can film wherever and whenever they like, and they can build sets whenever they like. So like, there's multiple stages and there's multiple sets. And on my first day, so I've done 3 weeks. 3 weeks today, I finished my third week. On my first day, I rock up and I get there early. And like, I'm not actually that nervous, like, which I will give myself credit. I think because I've done a couple jobs now in the industry, I feel a bit less intimidated by it. Because it is really scary, obviously, because it's a fucking massive industry and there's like really, like, I studied this, so to actually be able to be in a place where I can like be around people working as directors and working as sound people and like being in like a team, it's like so surreal. So I rocked up on my first day and I had breakfast with a guy that I worked on that film in Greenwich with. We actually ended up being on the same production together on this job. And the industry's so small, like you end up seeing people that you have seen before, which is so great. And he sat me down at breakfast and I was like, so have you worked, so I'm like a runner, so then I've got my boss is like the third assistant director, and then his boss is the second assistant director, and then her boss is the first assistant director. And the first AD is like the big job. Like, I didn't really realise that like the first AD is the person who says action. It's not the director, it's the first AD. The director is sat like in a tent watching, and the first AD is the person who's on the set making shit happen, making everything happen, saying action. The director says cut, but the first AD is the one who gets everything to like a good place to say action. And then we film, and then the director says cut, and then the first AD says cut. It's crazy. Anyway, so I rock up, I sit down with Kit, the guy that I'm working with, who I knew before, and I just ask him like about the people that I'm working for, like the first AD and the second AD. And he was like, yeah, like, they run a really tight ship. They're very, when they're at work, they're serious. Like, it's not a piss take. Like, you take the job seriously. You are on time. You take it seriously. And I think, like, that's when it kind of set in. Because I'd rocked up to this job, you know, not knowing what to expect. I had 2 days notice. And then I sit down with a guy who's worked with these people before, and he's like, babe, this is serious fucking stuff. And obviously, film and TV is meant to be great and creative, but like, there's a lot of money involved, so like, it is actually really serious, which I didn't quite like clock that much. Like, I guess I'm a bit delirious. I'm a bit like, whatever, like, everything's fine, everything's chill, but like, babe, you have to actually take it seriously. So I'm really grateful that we had that chat, because it sort of let me get into the headspace of like, babe, take this seriously. This is like a really big deal. So that was good to know. And then I got to set. I met everyone, got my radios, got to set, and then one of the PAs that I work with, there's 6 of us sort of like on the job constantly, and he showed me around the set that we were working on for that day, and honestly, like, these sets are handmade. Like, you literally walk, so you get into the stage, which is the warehouse, and then you get into the set through like an entrance, and these sets are like handcrafted. They're like walls like meters high, rock faces like carved out, like artistry, like, and it's all made out of fucking like mod rock. I don't know what, like when you knock it, it's like hollow, but it looks solid. It looks like a solid fucking wall. And then you're just walking around, and there's like steps everywhere because the production I'm working on, it has like, it's themed, it's sort of old vibes. So it's these old like rooms and sets, and you're sort of like having not to like trip over these steps that are like randomly placed everywhere. And anyway, it was just so overwhelming. Like, he was showing me around this huge set, and this is just one of the sets, and he was just showing me around, and in my head I was like, I mean, you probably know how it is. Like, when you start a new job, you want to do everything so well, but you also like trying to take it all in, but you're trying not to get overwhelmed. In my head, I was like, fuck. I'm not qualified for this job. I cannot do this job. But on the exterior, I was like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, noted. Oh, love that. Like, oh, great. That's great. Yeah, 100%. And then what really threw me off is he took me to the back of the stage, outside of the set, and he took me to this like light switch. So it's literally like a big old like board with different switches on, like the lights for the studio. Then there's these 3 switches on the bottom, and they are called the red light and bell. And he was like, so you're going to be on red light and bell today. And I was like, okay, like, yes and, you know, like, bring out the yes and. So I was like, that's great, like, love it. So he was like, should we do a little test then? And I was like, yeah, let's do a test. He was like, okay, so ring the bell. So I rang the bell. And I didn't realise, like, you don't ring the bell for that long. I'll explain what it means, but I rang it, and it went on for quite a while. And then the third AD was like on the radio saying, that was too long. And I was like, fuck! Like, what is the red light and bell? So I said to him, like, he was like, have you done the red light and bell before? And I was like, no, I haven't. So, like, what is it? So, what I didn't realise is, for, like, big films and for big TV shows when they're in these big stages, they have to ring a bell to make sure that everyone outside of the stage is aware that they're filming. So, when the director says, red light, you have to press a button which turns on a red light outside of the stage. So above each of the doors leading into the stage are lights. There's a green light and a red light. Green light is for rehearsals. Red light is for like when they're rolling. So when we're like rehearsing, you press the green light. When they're rolling, which means like when they're capturing the footage, like expensive stuff, you press the red light. And then what's even scarier is you have to ring a bell to let everyone know. So the director will shout, red light! And then you have to go, red light, press the bell, ding, press it again, stop. And it's like 3 to 4 seconds you should like hold it for. Like, people need to hear it for a second, but like, it shouldn't be too long. But what's crazy is the bell button, you press it and it doesn't stop. So you could press it and it will go on forever. So you have to like stop it. And I'd never like, this doesn't sound that interesting, but I'd never done it before. And what's scary is the director only says red light and bell when the stage is silent. Like, when they're just about to start shooting, he says, well, my director's a man, so I say he, but you have female directors as well. Well, actually, the director of this show is female, but the first AD is male. He said, red light, and the whole stage is silent. Everyone's silent. And I have to fucking press a red light and then press this bell. It goes ding! And it's really loud. It's like, imagine like a school bell, but like they're everywhere, so it's really loud. And then you have to stop it, and then it goes silent. And then he says, action! And then they film. And then when he says cut, you have to turn the red light off, and you have to ring the bell twice. You have to go ding, ding, and that means it's done. But like, you have to make sure that because the bell keeps ringing, so you have to go like, press it, ding, stop, press it again, press it, ding, stop, press it again. But it has to be like kind of quick. So it's like ding, ding. And like I'd never done it before. So I was so anxious. And what another thing that I didn't realise is like how long it takes to like set up a shot and to film. Like it takes so long. So I'm going to just pause this and then come back to it. Hold on. Action. Okay, I actually don't remember. We're back. Sorry, a little interlude. I don't actually remember where I was talking about. What I was talking about. My first day, I think. But yeah, it went really well. And basically, sorry, I've been working for 3 weeks now on this production. And it's just crazy. It's really fun. So that's a fun thing. Another fun thing. I had a hookup with... I hate the term hookup. Do I? Yeah, I guess I do. It's a bit cringe, isn't it? Like, hookup. Basically, I met a guy. Anyway, let me tell you the story. So, last weekend, my sister was at Glastonbury. So, she was at Glastonbury. Period. So I luckily got to go and stay at her flat in London for the weekend on my own, like in someone else's flat, her flat. So it's like an Airbnb but for free because it's your sister and like siblings give you free accommodation, I guess, if they're nice. So last weekend I finished work on the Friday, we wrapped, got the train from where I am. I can't say where I am because that would give away the job. So I'll just cut that. Got the train into London. It's near London town, and I got to London on the Friday, and this is where I met up with my newfound friend, which was what I was talking about with my 5 favourite things. New friends. Lulu, she's called Lulu. She's a cool girl. She's Australian, stunning, like tall. Like she's so tall. She's so much taller than me. Like, and she's cool. Like she wears really cool clothes. She's like Australian. She's like a fashion girl. And we met through a mutual friend, and like we just had like a connection straight away. Like she's fun and likes to go out, and we were like, let's go out on Friday night. So we went out on Friday night. Yes, we did. We went to Dalston Superstore, which is another favourite thing. Like if you've never been to Dalston Superstore, I highly recommend. Like it's a gay club in Dalston. And it's small. It's sort of like you walk in, it's like a bar vibe, and then downstairs there's like a basement where they play more like heavy stuff. There was someone like dancing on the bar, like someone like dancing in like go-go boots, getting their life, and like just very gay and fun. Where was I going with this? My Friday, my weekend, what led to the hookup. Anyway, so Friday was really fun. We went to Dalston Superstore, and then she's just a diva. Like we were there till about 2, and then she was like, "I'm not really feeling this anymore. Like, let's go somewhere else." And usually, I would be one to just like stay at the same place and just like live my life. And I was down to stay at the club because it was really fun. And obviously, it's a gay club, so there were a lot of hot guys there, and I was just feeling the queer energy. But she was like, "I want to go somewhere else, so like, let's go somewhere else." That's my Australian accent. So she the queen that she is, she was on RA looking at events in London, and she picked an event, Colour Factory, and we got an Uber there, and girl, straight away, I was unsure. My ears were pricked because it was giving straight. Straight away, it was giving straight. However, benefit of the doubt, this girl knows her shit. She actually picked a good venue because the music was really good. If you've ever been to White Hotel in Manchester, if you have been, then mwah, love you, babe. We're like meant to be friends. If you've been to White Hotel in Manchester, it's like White Hotel in Manchester but straight and a bit shit, but the music's good. So we were vibing. That was a good time. And it was nice because she's like 22, I'm 24. Oh my god, such an age gap. But like she just has that like energy, like she wants to go out, and like she usually I'm the one who is trying to get people to like fucking stay out, but she was the one who was like, we're staying out and we're having fun. So I was like, absolutely, I'm down for this. Anyway, that was my Friday night, really fun. Saturday, my friend Beth came round and to the flat, and we cooked a lovely dinner. And she's a friend from like when I was at secondary school, so we've been friends for like almost 10 years now, which is so nice. She cooks a lovely pasta, and in my sister's flat, they've got like a Juliet balcony in the living room. So we opened the doors up and we moved the table next to the balcony, and we were like smoking fags and just chatting till like 2 a.m. And then roll on Sunday. This is where the hookup starts. So, you know, it was Sunday morning and I was just kind of like on my own in the flat, had no plans. I had to obviously go back Sunday night to go to work on the Monday. And yeah, girl, let's be honest, I was feeling a bit horny. I don't know if I can say that here, but we all feel it sometimes, I think. So like, whatever. But yeah, I was feeling like I wanted to meet someone and wanted to like have fun. And I've got this flat to myself, like slay. So I go on Grindr. We love Grindr. Grindr is a place of mystery and intrigue and danger potentially, but also fun. And I was just like searching around, seeing what was going on, and this guy messaged me, and he was just like in a park nearby to where her flat is, and we messaged a bit, and you have when you use Grindr, you have to kind of like have a spidey sense of like, is this person like normal, like they're not a freak, like when I say freak, I mean like they're not gonna like kill me, like you have to have your street smarts about you, babe. And it's fine, like usually if you chat to someone, do you know what Grindr is? That's the first thing. It's basically an app. It's like Tinder, but it's more for hookups and like sexy stuff. And you get like a roster of like people in your area that you can like chat to, like sex positive, like love it, get your life, safe sex, obviously. This guy was like my age. He was like 23, 22. So already you can kind of like get a vibe. If someone's like your age and you chat a bit, you can kind of like get a vibe, and you sort of send pictures and it's like, okay, this person's normal. He was like at a park, and kind of nearby, and we were like flirty texting, and I was like, fuck it, like I'm going home today. This is the last time I've got the flat. Sorry if you're watching this, Ellie, but it's fine. We love. So I messaged him, and it's near Brick Lane. So I was like walking around Brick Lane, and I was like, okay, let's just like meet in Brick Lane and like meet in person. No pressure vibes. Like sometimes with hookups, people will like come to your house, and then it's like straight away you're like at the house. So it's kind of like intense energy, because if you don't like the person, you can't exactly, well, you can of course say I'm not into this and leave, but there's a pressure if you're already like at that house to stay. But like I met this guy not at the house, I was on the street, so it was public and it felt like a safe environment to be like, not into this, I'm into this, you know what I mean? And I don't know, guy, like I had this weird thing where I kind of think that I'm kind of Butters. I don't know if you have that, like I just didn't, I thought maybe like he would just think I'm ugly and then like not want to hook up, and like that's fine. But like I was walking down the street, and then I see him like stood against a fence, and he was just having a cigarette. And then I walk up to him, and it's so weird because you've been texting and you kind of know that you both sort of like want like a sexy vibe, and then you have to like sort of instigate it. But yeah, I walked up to him. I was like, "Hi, it's me." Obviously, there's like risks to it. Like this could be a random stranger, but like it was a busy street, like a busy place. Like I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna meet some random bloke down a dark alleyway. Like it was giving fine, and then yeah, we met. And what was crazy is like he was not what I was expecting. Like he was actually very straight vibes, like very straight energy. From the second I like chatted to him, like his voice was really deep, and he was sort of wearing like shorts and a top with like a bum bag, like giving, I don't know, just like straight energy. And immediately I was like, hot, like straight man, sexy. I mean, obviously he's not straight, but like it was giving straight vibes. So we have a little chat, and I'm like, hey, like what's the vibe? Do you want to like go for a walk? And I was like, no, like, should we just like go to your flat? And I was like, love that, love the like forwardness. For me, I like someone just in any romantic situation who is like forward, like knows what they want. I don't want someone like faffing around, like dilly daddling, like just tell it how it is, like be direct. And he was like, no, let's like go to your flat vibes. So we went to my flat, and wait, actually, why am I telling this story? Because I'm not going to get that graphic with it. But basically, we hooked up. We didn't have sex. And when I say sex, I mean, it's interesting because I guess we've all been so programmed. This is random side point. To think about like sex as in like penetration. But for me personally, I'm not like, I don't really care about that shit. I'm more about like the kissing and like the romance of it, like the touch. I'm a tourist, so I'm very about like the physical sensuality of it all. Like I'm not that like, I like the build up. I like the I love to kiss people. I love kissing. I think it's so fun. And I mean, you do you. Like I'm so sex positive. Like if you're like a big shagger and you just want to like get to shagging, then you do you, babe. But like yeah, I'm more of like a love a kiss, love a smooch. Anyway, he comes up, obviously like shut the curtains vibes, and yeah, like we have a fun time. And I hadn't like had a hookup or whatever. Like, I haven't had like a sexual interaction with someone in a while. Like I'm really not like a big like shagger. Like I don't live in a city. Like if I'm other than this, so with my new job, I've moved down to the place that I'm working at. But like before then, I was living here in the village. So like I'm very used to not hooking up with people. And you know, if you're horny, you just like masturbate and move on vibes. That's kind of the vibes. Not to get too graphic, but we all do it, so it's fine. But with this guy, like, it was hot because I immediately I could tell he's really not, he's not that experienced with, like, sexual experiences with gay men. Like, he said that. He said this is his, like, second sort of, like, interaction with a guy, like a sexual interaction with a guy. So, like, immediately I'm thinking, okay, like, I need to make him feel comfortable. And because I don't know, with like gay stuff, sometimes I get the impression that men are like quite forward and forthright, and if you're not used to it, then it's like a bit. And if like I don't know this guy's story, but like say he's like been straight his whole life, or like straight acting, whatever, like been with girls, to like then try something with a guy, it must be quite intimidating. So immediately I like clocked that, and I was like trying to just be nice and friendly and welcoming, and I was like, babe, it's like fine if you're like stressed and not feeling the energy, then like totally leave if you want to, like no pressure. And I'm a big advocate of like wear your heart on your sleeve, like say it how it is. Like if so I was like, I literally was like, if you're not into this, then you can go, like that's so fine. But he didn't leave, and yeah, it was lovely, had a lovely time. And I don't know, like it was just fun. Like it's fun to, you know, if you like, it's very like free will. Like, yeah, you're feeling a bit sexy, like hook up with someone, and like it's cute. What's funny is after our little interaction, I said goodbye. Obviously, walked him down, said goodbye, and then I had a shower, and then I was like, right, I'm gonna go meet my friend. So I walked to South Bank Centre, and on the way to South Bank Centre, I walked past him, just like sat on a line bike, and I was like, hi. He was like, hi. And then he got my number. He asked my number, which is also really hot. Like he was like messaging me off Grindr, like, what's your number? So I gave him my number, obviously, and then he was texting me straight away. Like that was really fun. Like thank you so much. Like that was great. So love that for me, and also, yeah, we're kind of still texting, so like it could be a fun thing for the future. I'm very like, I'm an open book. Like I'm really not. I feel blessed that I don't really have any baggage when it comes to like gay relationships, and you know being like straight acting, like that's not my thing. Like I got the vibe that it was for him, so I think potentially our little hookup interaction was like quite like a fun, exciting thing for him, which is fun for me as well. Like I feel happy that like I gave him a fun experience, um, and yeah, I think maybe I'll see him again, and he's actually really hot. Like he was sort of shorter than me. I think he said he was from. Oh, I don't know where he said he was from. I think he said like He had like South American, like heritage. So like gorgeous beard, like lovely tan, and then also just like straight energy. Like he was like quite masculine. So like sexy, really sexy, like so hot. Anyway, love him, love you, babe. So that was like a fun little excursion I had. And then obviously that day I had to go back to where I'm working, and then this last week I've just been working. So honestly, the past few weeks has been a bit of a whirlwind. Like when I feel like when you start any new job, it's like really intimidating. But what's so fun and lovely is 3 weeks into the job, like as a runner, so like we do different jobs. Like I have to get the lunches for everyone. I have to obviously make teas and coffees. And what's so scary is like because I'm a PA to the assistant directors. These people are busy. These people are making the shit happen on set. Like they're the ones. There's so many different departments. There's sound, lighting, camera. Like there's so many. But like the ADs are the ones who are saying like action, and I'm a production assistant, so I'm making sure the production is working okay. So I'm bringing the coffees to the directors. So it's so scary because they're literally like on set setting up a shot. There's cameras everywhere. There's people everywhere, and I'm having to like watch the microphone. I'm having to like get in their face and be like, do you want a coffee, babe? And there's a fine line where you have to, be confident and, say their name and like go up to them. But also you don't want to fuck them off, because if they're busy, you don't want to get in the way. So you have to really like judge when to go up to them. And I've also got the job of like getting the lunches, like the lunch orders. And so I have to go up to them when they're setting up for a shot. It's usually about 11 a.m. And I have the menu written down on my notes, and I go up to them and I say, hey, like, this is the lunch menu. And the first AD, my big boss, luckily he's like a cool guy, and he's like been working in like the industry for years and years. So he's probably used to having loads of runners, so he just knows what the vibe is. Like, you need to like let me get your lunch order, otherwise you're not going to get your lunch, babe. But it is scary going from not really doing that to like now doing it every day. But it's really exciting. And yeah, so I've moved down for the job. So we sort of start at like 7, 8 in the morning. Ooh. Action. Okay, watch out. I actually don't remember. Watch out. We're back. Sorry, a little interlude. I don't actually remember where I was talking about. What I was talking about. My first day, I think. Sorry, just having a little technical. The cat just turned off my recording, so we'll go again. But yeah, anyway, Lucky, stay there, darling. It's nice to be home. Like, I haven't been home in 2 weeks, and my parents are coming back tomorrow, which is going to be really nice. But yeah, I just thought I wanted to like have a catch up and look back at this exciting time in my life. This is obviously a job which I've been really wanting, and to actually, for it to be happening now is mad. And what's kind of crazy is I think I've manifested this job, because guys, manifesting is real. Like, obviously it sounds a bit wanky to say it, but I remember from sort of January to spring, I kept saying to everyone that I'm friends with, like, I think something big's going to happen this summer. I kept saying, I'm like, something big's going to happen, good or bad, something is going to happen that's going to sort of change things. And I was like working in a restaurant from January to like when I got this job, this new job, and life was pretty dull, but like fine, like not complaining. But then I remember in the back of my mind thinking like, something big is going to happen this summer. And then I get a fucking text from an assistant director saying, we want to interview for this job on a TV production. And I get the job, and I've been on the job for 3 weeks. And I think honestly, I put the energy out there of like, something's going to happen, something big's going to happen. And I think this job is the thing I was talking about. Like, I kind of was hoping it would be like a relationship, but it's not. It's a job, and it's an exciting job, and it's something that like I've been wanting to happen for so long. So guys, if you think you want something, just like try and manifest it. That's my like takeaway from this. Manifestation is real. But on the note of like relationships, I've been thinking a lot recently, like, I don't know if it's like because I'm gay and like a gay man. I guess I'm just not that maternal anyway, but I don't know if I want to have kids. I don't know if I want to get married. That's something that I've been thinking about recently. I wrote a note, it's on my phone, but I'm filming right now, so I can't write it. I can't say it. And I was at the pub after work, just on my own, having a pint, and I could hear these people talking like over the wall from me. Just these like straight guys like talking to girls, and they were like two different groups, and they like hadn't met, and I could just hear the guys sort of like putting it on a bit and like trying to like flirt with the girls, and I was just like, maybe it's like maybe it's like an introvert thing. I love listening in on conversations, And like just the way they were talking, I was like, oh, this is really cute. Like I love this, but like I don't know if it's for me. Like I don't know if I want to be like grafting for a lover. I don't know if I want that. Like I think I feel quite content on my own, and maybe that will change. Like maybe that comes with time and age. Like I'm 24 now, but I feel like a lot of people know they want to have kids and get married at a certain age, and I'm 24 and I don't feel that. Like I don't, like I love being on my own. I feel so happy on my own, honestly. And it's so nice because like 2 years ago when I was at uni, I was like 23 and I was really going through like a shit time, probably like the worst depression I've felt. Like it was my final year of uni. Actually, it was my second year of uni when I felt the worst. And I just felt quite like sad and sort of alone. So I've got cat hair all over my mouth. And to cut to now, like 2 years later, and I feel so content on my own. Like this girl, like she's just happy on her own. Like she's like 14 now. She's called Lucky, and like she doesn't want a lover. Like she just wants food and to like have a good time. That's kind of how I feel at this time in my life. Maybe that will change. Literally, cat hair all over my mouth. But like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking, why do I want a long term partner when I've like literally got myself? I know that sounds so cringy, but it's kind of just like how I feel right now, and I feel blessed because I've got sisters and I think they're gonna have kids. So, you know, I guess as humans we want to, you know, have connections and we want to feel connected. So I think I'll feel connected through my nieces and nephews and or whatever. But I just don't know if like kids is for me. Like, and I think that's, and maybe that will change, but I think that's sort of where I'm at right now, which is interesting. But I've kind of always felt like that. Maybe it's a queer thing, like, just, I guess being like quite solo, you just naturally feel like you can do anything on your own. And we're sort of programmed to, you know, be self-reliant and self-sufficient because, you know, there's a lot of like negative energy towards queer people and that you have to sort of have a thick skin and have to like fend for yourself a bit. And luckily I haven't really had like too much aggression towards me being gay. Like everyone's been quite nice, but I definitely still have that mentality of like being like a lone wolf, and I quite like it. I don't know, we'll see where it goes, but right now I don't know about kids. Anyway, that's a random place to leave this on, but I feel like I've talked enough. I feel like this was a nice little check-in. I don't know when I'll next film, but hopefully I'll get into a nice routine with my new job. But it is busy. Like I'm literally working 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, so it's quite a lot. So I don't really have time to film. But I just kind of wanted to like expel some energy and talk out loud. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast episode. A little check in on where I've been, what I've been up to, and yeah, we'll see what happens. And in the next one, we'll see what we're talking about. But thanks for watching. If you've got this far, tell me your favourite song on Virgin or your favourite song on Addison Rae's new album. My favourite song on Addison would have to be Times Like These. My favourite song on Virgin is probably Favourite Daughter. Is that the song? Favourite Daughter? Yeah, period. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Lots of love. I'm going to go edit this now. And yeah, thanks for watching. Mwah. Bye. Peace.